Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, April 17th. So today we have the moon in Scorpio all day. And of course, we're still in the full moon window energy. We had our full moon in Libra peak in its direct energy yesterday afternoon before shifting into Scorpio energy. So many of us have felt that intensity, felt that squeeze for the full moon in Libra. I am going to recommend that you go ahead and you listen to that astro forecast if you haven't already. And I'm going to recommend that you take a listen to the ascension forecast for this week if you haven't already done so. The pressurized system that we had to focus on was new information coming in, really shifting our perspective on our current relationship dynamics and where it is that we've been living in extremes and where it is that we have to work harder in order to find balance. The moon moving into Scorpio right after we had this beautiful full moon in Libra is definitely pushing us to kind of retreat a little bit, to kind of mull over some of the epiphanies and aha moments that we've had. We have to do a deep dive into our psyche, into our emotional state, and kind of unearth some of those dark thoughts and dark feelings that got illuminated for us under this moon in order for us to alchemize that. What does that mean? It means that we have to turn the negatives into positives. We have to look for the silver linings. We have to understand that there is a huge power, a huge strength in the pain in which we feel and suffer through. And our jobs is to turn that pain into power, to turn that darkness into light. The moon in Scorpio, highly transformative, the detective of the zodiac. So we don't mind deep diving, probing within our inner realms to ask ourselves the deep-seated questions on whether or not we are going to use our pain and suffering as an excuse to stick to where it is that we're at and really just kind of be in a state of paralysis, or whether or not this is going to push us into an inspired, motivated state to act as the catalyst to be the change that we need to have, not only within ourselves, but in our physical realms. So it is going to be a very intense type of day because, of course, emotionally, we are overwhelmed. We're very passionate, and that passion can manifest in anger or excitement. And we have to decide how it is that we are going to use this energy to propel us forward. Now, there are 11 different aspects taking place in the cosmos today. 6 of them involve the moon in Scorpio. But before we dive into some of the moon's activities, Mars, the co-ruler of Scorpio energy, is bumping into Uranus, the great awakener. So Mars is the god of war. He rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire. He is in Pisces, a sister water sign to Scorpio. Pisces energy, very intuitive, very vague, very choppy until we get these aha moments of clarity. These aha moments of clarity, this psychic vision, psychic insight, triggers us in a way that we know we have to pursue this path. We have to have this new mission. We have to go after what it is that we want. And Mars in Pisces energy is an intuitive energy pushing us to listen to our higher selves, to take action in our physical realms in accordance to our higher selves, to our intuition, to the universe's greater, grander plan. Mars bumping into Uranus this way, Uranus the great awakener who likes to shock us, likes to download us with an aha moment, a moment of genius that we can't unknow, is in Tauran energy. The Tauran energy is representative of our day-to-day lives, our physical realm, the routines that we have, the habits that we have, the relationships that we're in, the self-worth situation that we're currently struggling with, and money matters. So the fact that Mars is bumping into Uranus in this way does suggest that we are getting an overwhelming amount of psychic insight, a gut feeling, a shift in perspective that provides us with a little bit of clarity on the path in which we have to now push and pursue moving forward. The moon goes ahead and bumps into Neptune and Jupiter. Now, as we've been talking about, Neptune and Jupiter had their conjunction last week. It was a pretty big deal. We're still in the window of that energy. We will be for some time. But Neptune and Jupiter in Piscean energy is a ripple effect of a great awakening within ourselves, of our intuition pushing forward, taking the lead over our egoic selves, our dreams coming very much into the forefront on what it is that we need to start doing in our physical realm in order to align with the visions that we now know that we want to manifest, and really pushing the boundaries of our growth. Many of us in physical circumstances right now that don't feel so good, that would not suggest that our dreams are going to come true. But this particular aspect is pushing for us to abandon our egoic realm, the logical, practical data of our physical circumstances, and trust the greater, grander plan. Now, the moon in Scorpio, making a little bit of a uncomfortable aspect with Neptune and Jupiter, is really pushing us to dive inward, to see what our attachments are, what our blockages are, what it is that we're talking ourselves out of in order to actually follow our gut and go after the dream and vision. Again, the moon in Scorpio is the great detective. We have no problem getting real with ourselves. We have to ask ourselves the tough questions. Why am I like this? Why am I afraid? What am I attached to? What am I scared of? All of these answers are going to paint a beautiful picture on where it is that we have been blocking our own blessings. Now, Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, self-worth, joy, happiness, and love and relationships, and money, bumps into Chiron. Mercury is going to bump into Chiron. Then the moon is going to bump into Chiron. What do we know about this? Well, Chiron is the wounded healer. We come into this particular earth plane with a certain set of wounds that we are destined to heal in this lifetime. We have the path. We have the wisdom. We have the resources. We have the knowledge within us in order to heal these wounds. But Venus, who is in Pisces, who's just in love with love, who's just romanticizing the hell out of our dreams, our fantasies, our imaginary realities that we're looking to bring into our physical realms, bumps into Chiron in such a way that likely this will manifest in an activation, a trigger point in a personal relationship of ours, in our external realm, that is just going to make us feel bad, make us think bad thoughts, make us feel bad thoughts in order for us to do the work. Now, what is the work? Well, that's where Mercury comes in. Mercury rules over the mental plane. Mercury is in Tauran energy, meaning we are practical, we are logical about the way that we're thinking, the information coming in, the way we communicate, the way that we express ourselves. We're down to earth. We're only speaking on things that we've already thought about, that are deliberate, that are worthy of our time, energy, and attention. And this outside trigger is going to put us in a situation where not only we need to speak our truth and speak our piece, but we're understanding that some of these triggers and activations happening in our physical realm, in our personal relationships, in our physical circumstances are happening to push us to make the changes that many of us would not make if we were not pushed to do so. This is where the moon comes in. The moon bumps into Chiron, and suddenly we have an opportunity for growth. We have an opportunity for learning. We are taking the outside situations happening in our physical realm. We are moving inward with it. We are analyzing it to death. We are asking ourselves, why do I continue to put myself in a situation where I'm not valued the way that I value other people? Why do I continue to pour into the relationships that the other person never seems to pour into me? What is it about my own attitude, my own relationship with myself, my own self-worth, my own self-confidence, my own self-esteem that has me stuck in situations that I know I do not deserve? This, again, very transformative, but we do have to rip the scabs open in order to recognize that, guess what? They're just not healing right. Sometimes the scabs get to a certain point where they will not heal. And many of us like to pick those scabs and keep those wounds wide open just for us to have a reason to complain, an excuse, if you will. So this particular energy is really putting us at odds, first of all, in circumstances outside of ourselves in order for us to look inward. Then those circumstances are now the inner conflict within ourselves. Why do we continue to put ourselves in situations that we know are not in alignment with our highest self, with our dreams, with our vision? Well, the moon in Scorpio is going to sit across from Mercury, who is in Taurus. Scorpio and Taurus energy sit across from one another in the zodiac wheel. They are polar opposite energy. And may I remind you, the true node is currently on the Scorpio-Taurus axis for about the next year. What is this teaching us? Well, it's teaching us what it is that we're so freaking attached to, that we're so fixated on in our past that we have a hard time letting go of in order to create the space to build new routines, new relationships, new values within ourselves. The moon, which is our emotions, Mercury, which is our mental plane, they're at odds with one another right now. The moon in Scorpio wants us to figure out why we feel like we should stay in situations that are not meant for us. Mercury, who is in Taurus, is trying to wrap around the logical, practical understanding of why we stay in situations not meant for us. And hint, clue, a lot of it has to do with either finances or self-esteem. Self-esteem in the fact that maybe you're fearful that if you leave said person that you will be alone forever. Maybe you are fearful that if you were to detach from said relationship, that you would not be financially capable or stable enough to support yourself. There has a lot to do with being stuck in a rut, stubborn, fixed in your situation, in your perspective. Scorpio and Taurus energy are fixed signs. We have a hard time changing. We don't like to change, but right now the universe is pushing us to make a change. And if we do not rise to the occasion and make the change ourselves, you best believe that the universe will rock you and make those changes for you without you contributing. May I remind you, we are about to enter into retrograde season and eclipse season. That is essentially when Jesus takes the wheel. We do not have control over the divine script that is going to play out. Right now, you do have control over your outer realm, over your inner realm. Now would be a great time to put those, let's call them big girl, big boy panties on and actually make the change that you know you have to make before the universe makes it for you. The moon trines Venus. Like I said, Venus is in Pisces. Pisces is a sister water sign to Scorpio. This trine is a good energy. It means that this little cluster F that we just had, this little war that we waged within ourselves and within our personal relationships in our external realm is giving us an aha moment on what it is that we actually want for ourselves, what it is we need emotionally to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel loved and supported. And a lot of times we have to realize what it is that we don't have, what it is that we currently want, need, and desire in order to figure out that the situation that we're currently in just isn't cutting it. It's not doing it. Now, the moon is going to sit across from Uranus, the Great Awakener, who is also in Taurus energy. This opposition, it's going to feel tough. Why? Because again, that moon in Scorpio is fixed. Sometimes we know we have to make the change. Sometimes we know we have to grow up. Sometimes we know we have to rise to the occasion and take life by the horns before the horns stab us in our butt and push us in a direction that we wouldn't have chosen for ourselves. The moon in Scorpio is at odds with this Uranian energy because the higher part of ourselves knows that we are about to make a dramatic situation, a dramatic circumstance change in our life. This is how we jump timelines. This is how we jump storylines. This is how we initiate new soul contracts. That Uranian energy, although is the Great Awakener, although is providing us with these aha moments and helping us to adapt to these changes quickly, does need to bring a certain element of chaos into our lives in order for us to figure out that we don't want to live like this anymore, so that we can gain clarity on what it is that we would like to be living, so that we can see that our current circumstances aren't cutting it. Mercury Sextiles with Venus. This is a beautiful energy. First of all, Mercury is in Taurus. Venus rules over Taurus. Mercury being in Taurus has us very grounded, very practical, very logical in the way that we are perceiving our current circumstances, in the way that we're thinking, and the way that we're communicating. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, is over here in Pisces. Yes, okay, fantasizing about, the kind of reality that she wants to be living. She's in love with love. She just wants to be happy. She wants to find peace. She wants to be in a joyful state of life. But she's in Pisces. Pisces is where endings and closures need to take place in order to set the stage and prepare us for brand new beginnings. Venus will be moving into Aries very shortly. That is when she is on a new quest of love and passion and self-worth. This particular aspect between Mercury and Venus is now opening us up to recognizing what it is that we're currently lacking in our personal relationships, in our physical realms, where love and patience and understanding and stability and support and encouragement are concerned, and recognizing what it is that we currently don't have so that we can recognize what it is that we want. That's how dreams are formed. That's how manifesting works. Venus is going to semi-square Pluto. Pluto rules over the moon in Scorpio. Pluto is the great transformer. Pluto highlights the pain story, the suffering, the trauma, not to keep you in a state of paralysis and hold you down, but to inspire you, to motivate you, to alchemize that darkness and turn it into light. To use that pain as a source of power. To use all of your uncomfortable circumstances as a motivation, as a catalyst, as an inspiration to get a fire under your butt and push you forward, to create distance from all of the things that you are not content with, and to bridge the gap, pushing you closer to all of the things that you now realize that you're currently lacking, that you're very, very much desiring within yourself, within your relationships, within your physical realm.